Well, because I think it's important to remind ourselves, what we are capable of. This is a story about the people, the people taking control. It's about the beginning and the origins of a revolution in a way. And this is how we're telling the story of how a revolutionary is born.
Hai KLovers, buat kamu yang suka dengan cerita Star Wars, Disney Plus bakal menghadirkan serial baru nih, Andor judulnya. Serial yang nantinya berjumlah 12 episode ini bakal menceritakan awal mula terbentuknya para pemberontak, mengambil setting 5 tahun sebelum film Star Wars Rogue One. Di sini, kamu bisa turut merasakan seperti apa ketegangan para tokoh-tokohnya dalam menata strategi, sementara pasukan kekaisaran juga tak henti-hentinya memburu musuh mereka. Berfokus pada tokoh utama Cassian Andor diperankan Diego Luna, kamu akan dibawa pada kisah Star Wars yang lebih kelam. Ada kisah spionase yang menegangkan dan kuat terasa di serial ini. Penasaran bukan? Yuk simak wawancara singkat KapanLagi dengan Diego Luna dan Genevieve O Reilly satu ini. Sebelum kamu menonton serialnya tayang mulai 21 September.
Well, because I think it's important to remind ourselves, what we are capable of. This is a story about the people, the people taking control. It's about the beginning and the origins of a revolution in a way. And this is how we're telling the story of how a revolutionary is born, and it's interesting to witness because we know what he's capable of doing, but we don't know why. What had to happen? What needs to happen in the life of someone to be willing to sacrifice everything for a cause? That is the story we're here to tell, and we believe it's an important one.
I think this time we meet Mon Mothma in a very different place than we've met her before. So previously, we know her as a female, one of the female leaders of the rebellion. This time we meet her working within the Imperial Senate. She is working within empire. She is living within empire. I think that's really shocking to see, and it was really interesting for me to play. It's a woman who looks different, whose her fights are different. She feels different. And she's a woman trying to effect and advocate for change. She's trying to gather a resistance to an autocracy. She's trying to gather a political resistance, and she's failing. And I think we also see Andor, we see Cassian Andor trying to build his own resistance in a very different place. So what Tony Gilroy has done is allowed for different voices, that in order to be an effective resistance, we must have different voices. And I think the intricate web of different characters that Andor allows for creates different points of view, different voices. It's really suspenseful, and it's a real wrestle, and I think it'll be very exciting to watch.
It was exciting from beginning to end, man. I really had a lot of fun, and it was a strange process because we had to do it in the middle of the pandemic, right? So there was moments that were really tough and very lonely in a way because I was far away from home. But once we started shooting, it was pure joy, We had the chance to be doing, in very rough times, we had the chance to be doing what we love. And I was doing a project that we had been preparing for years, There was like 4 good years of work behind this. So it was fantastic. I had the chance to work with an amazing cast, actors that I admire so much, and I was seeing, our baby, coming to life. It was a lot of talking, a lot of work, and a lot of prepping for this one. It's a huge endeavor, you know. Like we're doing 12 episodes in this first season. 12 episodes. That's like 4 movies, you know. So we shot for 7 months, I think, 8 months, something like that. We're still working today, you know. I'm still, you know, recording voices and doing ADRs and stuff for the Spanish-speaking market. We're not done yet because it's a huge project, but we're really proud of what we did.
I'm so excited for the audiences to see the sets that our designer Luke created. For me, I remember stepping into some of those sets and just being breathtaking. It was such an extraordinary thing to see and to get to work within the world of those sets. But I remember one day walking into one of the sets where Mon Mothma lives and works, and it was full of characters and people, but also creatures, you know, Star Wars creatures. And that's an exciting moment when you see a full set, particularly during COVID time when we were shooting, of people and creatures. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, it's Star Wars.
No, it's full of beautiful, beautiful executed moments in you know, like the whole saga. But I would say that for me, A New Hope is very special, you know, because A New Hope, it was the first one I saw, but also the tempo, you know, the patience it asks for audiences. It's very interesting. It's very risky, I think, and a beautiful cinematic experience that takes you into a different rhythm of watching and witnessing a story, you know. I loved what happened to me as audience when I saw it for the first time. But I agree, man. We paid a lot of attention into the way we were shooting, you know. We wanted this to be like the feeling of watching a very long film, or like 4 films put together, you know. We wanted to avoid the feeling of television. We didn't want it to simplify the visual language at all.
What I love about Star Wars as a piece of all of the Star Wars is that it feels universal and intimate, epic and intimate all at the same time. So actually in all of the Star Wars pieces and in Andor as well, you have people at the heart of it, and then at the same time you get this ship come in. Or you see space. You can see that it is this universal storytelling. You will go from the shot of someone's face to the shot of an empirical ship coming in, and how that just blows open your perspective as a viewer. It feels huge. It feels relatable because there are people at its heart. But also when you see those planets, like I remember when I watched Rogue One, and all of a sudden it cut from, I can't remember, it cut from this one scene, and then all of a sudden you saw planets, and you realize how epic the storytelling is, how the scope of storytelling and the scope of the cinematic visuals. And I think that's a really exciting thing to be a part of.